Jungkook and Jimin as solo artists under the BTS brand umbrella, one key differentiator emerges clearly and factually. Jungkook's ability to dominate not only South Korean charts but also achieve sustained, mainstream commercial success across international markets, particularly the United States and Europe. This isn't a subjective judgment of musical style or artistic worth. Rather, it is an examination of measurable metrics, sales data, streaming records, global partnerships, and brand engagements that point to a concrete gap in global reach and market saturation between the two artists. Global streaming metrics. The global streaming landscape, primarily dominated by platforms like Spotify, Apple Music, and YouTube, provides a comprehensive view of international popularity beyond domestic success. Jungkook's solo track 7, featuring Lato, released in July 2023, offers clear evidence of his unparalleled reach. It broke the record for the fastest song by a male artist to reach 100 million streams on Spotify, surpassing global stars like The Weeknd and Ed Sheeran in speed. Within just 1 week of release, 7 amassed over 89 million streams, placing it at 1 on Spotify's global weekly chart, a position no BTS member, including Jimin, had achieved with such consistency. In contrast, Jimin's solo debut with Like Crazy experienced significant success, especially in South Korea and within BTS's loyal fandom. The song debuted at 1 on the Billboard Hot 100, which was a historic achievement as the first solo K-pop artist to do so. However, the sustainability of that peak was limited. The song dropped out of the Hot 100 chart in the following week and struggled to maintain momentum outside the initial burst driven by the BTS army. Comparatively, 7 maintained chart presence for multiple weeks and remained within the top tier on streaming platforms globally. This disparity highlights a core distinction. While both artists can mobilize BTS's massive fan base for a debut week push, Jungkook's streaming performance exhibits longevity and cross-demographic appeal. His streaming metrics suggest that he is attracting listeners who exist outside the traditional K-pop ecosystem, including casual Western listeners, an audience that is difficult for most K-pop idols to access without major label push and collaborations. Billboard chart performance, US market penetration. While both Jimin and Jungkook have had Billboard Hot 101 singles, Jungkook has consistently shown stronger resilience and multi-track success in the US market. After 7, Jungkook released 3D, featuring Jack Harlow, and later his debut solo album, Golden, which further cemented his US market footprint. 3D debuted in the top 5 of Billboard Hot 100, and several album tracks entered the Hot 100 simultaneously upon release. His streaming debut with Golden was accompanied by over 2.5 billion Spotify streams across his solo discography by the album's release week. In comparison, Jimin's US visibility as a soloist remains mostly tied to Like Crazy. While it was undeniably groundbreaking for its debut performance, it lacked follow-up tracks that could continue engaging the US market independently of BTS's base. Jimin's solo album Face contained introspective tracks with limited English lyrics and leaned heavily into genre experimentation that, while artistically commendable, did not translate into long-term commercial power in global markets. Jungkook's promotional strategy and musical alignment, English language lyrics, mainstream collaborations, and Western pop production significantly contributed to his solo resonance in the US. The ability to collaborate effectively with globally established artists such as Lato and Jack Harlow allowed him to bridge the cultural gap more effectively than Jimin, who opted for more introspective and domestically styled productions. brand collaborations, and global endorsements. One of the most quantifiable indicators of global solo appeal is commercial brand interest. Jungkook has been tapped as the global ambassador for Calvin Klein, a position that immediately expanded his image beyond the boundaries of K-pop. The brand's campaign featuring Jungkook became one of Calvin Klein's most engaging launches on social media platforms, generating record-level engagement across Instagram and Twitter, X, and boosting online sales traffic. The collaboration was not merely a cosmetic endorsement. Jungkook's campaign was central to the launch of Calvin Klein's new denim and underwear collections in global markets, indicating a strategic use of his influence as a selling point, not just a celebrity name. The imagery and marketing materials were Western-oriented, yet managed to retain Jungkook's signature aesthetic, a fusion that worked for both Asian and Western demographics. Jimin, while also having fashion partnerships, such as his ambassador role with Dior, operated largely within traditional fashion circuit roles, runway shows, curated press releases, and more artistically positioned visuals. While his partnership carried strong luxury brand prestige, it lacked the retail impact and viral momentum that characterized Jungkook's Calvin Klein campaign. Dior's sales were not visibly transformed in the same way Calvin Klein's were, and engagement data across social media platforms indicates that Jungkook's content performed more broadly and virally. Fanbase engagement, platform penetration. Jungkook's solo activities also show higher multi-platform engagement, not just in music, but across TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube. His posts and content regularly trend globally, and his live streams on platforms like Weverse often cause server crashes due to overwhelming traffic. His approach to fan engagement is more casual, spontaneous, and viral-friendly, which makes him highly adaptable to modern media consumption formats. His TikTok-related trends, such as choreography from Seven, often spawn thousands of user-generated content pieces, extending his reach beyond core fans. Jimin's social media engagement, while significant, tends to remain within expected fandom circles. His stylistic and artistic choices attract loyal engagement, but do not create as many crossover moments into broader pop culture or casual music listener domains. For example, TikTok challenges or fan-initiated trends involving Jimin are often BTS ARMY-led rather than organically adopted by unrelated users or new audience groups. This difference in digital penetration reflects a key competitive factor. Jungkook's content naturally fits into viral ecosystems without needing heavy campaign pushes. His image, music, and behavior online lend themselves well to digital algorithms, increasing his discoverability to users who are not seeking K-pop content specifically. Album sales and physical performance. Physical album sales also demonstrate Jungkook's superior solo positioning. His debut solo album Golden surpassed 2 million physical copies sold globally within weeks of release. This figure placed him not only at the top of the K-pop soloist charts for 2023, but also among the best-selling male solo artists globally in that year. A remarkable achievement considering the dominance of group acts and Western soloists in the physical market. Jimin's Face also performed well in physical sales, but trailed behind Jungkook's by several 100,000 units. Moreover, Jungkook's packaging, deluxe versions, and distribution strategy with special US editions and exclusive retailer collaborations showed a deeper integration into the global retail chain. His management and label coordination ensured that Golden was available in US, Japanese, and European outlets with dedicated promotional material, physical media design, and shipping partnerships. This integration demonstrates that Jungkook's market planning extended far beyond South Korea and Asia, leveraging his international appeal as a profit-driving solo act. Jimin's album, while artistically introspective and praised in reviews, lacked this same degree of international infrastructure and retail omnipresence, strategic management, and label positioning. An often overlooked factor in the comparative success of Jungkook over Jimin in solo terms is strategic label investment. Jungkook's solo promotions featured extensive interviews with Western media, appearances on platforms like BBC Radio 1, and performances on major US television shows. This type of promotional infrastructure is not randomly assigned, but indicates a high level of internal prioritization by HYBE and its sublabels. The extent of this promotional architecture suggests that HYBE recognizes Jungkook as the most commercially viable soloist for cross-border branding and profit generation. While all BTS members receive strong support, the magnitude of Jungkook's campaigns indicates an elevated investment, especially when cross-referenced with US radio pushes, global streaming playlist placements, and synchronization in advertising campaigns. Jimin's rollout strategy focused more heavily on Korean and Japanese markets, with limited Western media exposure during his promotional period. This isn't indicative of a lack of talent or appeal, but rather a distinction in market positioning. Jungkook's brand has been sculpted for global leadership, while Jimin's presentation has remained more inward-facing, allowing Jungkook to emerge as the more dominant international solo force.